AITA for refusing to punish or allow my wife to punish our son. This all started back in March. My son's best friend turned 13. In his family, 13th birthday is a huge deal. In addition to a massive party, which all four of us were invited to, his parents also took him to Disney World. They invited my son to attend as well. My wife was hesitant to consent to this. She said it was unfair to allow our son to go when our 9-year-old daughter can't, especially since she loves Disney and princesses. I said that our kids won't always have the exact same opportunities. And if we set a precedent here, we'll have to stick to it if and when our daughter gets a similar opportunity. So we'd just be punishing both our children needlessly. My wife reluctantly agreed that we should allow our son to go. I gave our son money to buy his sister souvenirs. He did. And his friend's parents even bought extra stuff for him to give to her. Still, when she saw him come back wearing a Star Wars shirt with the Mickey hat and trading pin lanyard, she burst into tears. My wife later said we made a huge mistake and never should have let him go. I, mistakenly, thought all of that was behind us. Now, we are not well off financially, but my bill is. And he invited all of us to visit a beach house he rented for a summer send-off. My wife told me she wants to have our son stay with my dad and just take out daughter to even the score. I told my wife that isn't happening. We are their parents. We can't favor one child over the other. Not being invited to the birthday trip of a kid you barely know is in no way comparable to being left out of a family vacation, and I'm shocked she would even suggest such a thing. I refuse to allow it. Now my wife is angry, but I don't care. I'm not punishing my son for being lucky. AITA? NTA. Die on this hill. You were 100% correct that your kids aren't going to receive the same opportunities in life. Daughter has to learn how to handle situations like this in life. Because she's not always going to be treated the same or have the same opportunities as everyone around her, and she needs to learn to handle that with grace. Also, this is your family inviting you, like you said, not a child's friend. Your wife would be excluding your son from his entire family, which is just awful. Let your wife be angry about this. She's completely out of line. What a strange reaction. I wonder what the root of it really is. ETA. Thank you for the awards. NTA. You're right. The kids are different with their own set of friends and life opportunities. They can't and shouldn't be raised together all the time. Your wife is being incredibly unreasonable with that type of ask to even the score. Hope you get it worked out. Victory hand, medium skin tone. NTA. You are doing the right thing. Punishing your son just because he is older and do what his age will allow will mentally scar him. So he is not allowed to drive until his sister is of age to drive? NTA. Son doesn't need to be punished just because he got a privilege his sister didn't. Excluding him from a family vacation for some sort of justice is an absurd way of thinking. Info. Does your wife have siblings and issues with them? Does she favor your daughter often? NTA. She's being petty, not striving for equality. You're NTA, and it's a weird set of ideas. Your wife has TBH that she expects it to be identically fair for siblings. Life isn't fair. Different opportunities will be offered to each of them for different reasons. Overcompensating to create false fairness won't help either of them understand it or deal with it when they face more complex situations where they are treated differently. For example, what if one gets a scholarship to uni? What if one gets a better job than the other? NTA. Your bill invited the family. I believe your son is part of that. It also seems to me that your wife favors your daughter over your son. This seems like a red flag. Is there a difference in how she normally acts between the children? NTA. Your wife's logic is completely flawed and will lead to your son resenting her and possibly your daughter as an adult if you allow her to do this. Your son and daughter are individuals who will have different friends and opportunities presented to them throughout life. Exactly what is your wife trying to teach your children? That they can't take advantage of opportunities presented to them if it doesn't include their sibling? That they should be held back from experiences simply because their sibling doesn't have the same friends or opportunities to experience it as well. It would be a different situation if you decided to take only one of your children to Disney. But was not the case. This was a situation where he was offered this opportunity by a friend's family who was willing to pay for him. It would have been wrong to have made him miss out on experiencing something just because your younger daughter wasn't invited because she is not friends with the same person as your son. As you said in your post, your daughter will have opportunities in the future that your son won't have. That is just how life works. NTA. But your wife? Woo. When your daughter doesn't make varsity volleyball, will you pull your son from varsity baseball and punish him for making varsity the previous year? 2. How about when your son makes partner, but your daughter doesn't? Oh. How about when your son has kids and your daughter miscarries? What will your wife do then? NTA. Your son needs to be included on family events. NTA. A coworker of mine, we're not friends, would constantly do this to her son. It was clear she favored her daughter. She even went so far as to try and deny his ability to go away for college because his sister never got a scholarship and it wouldn't be fair. He had gotten a couple of full-ride scholarships. That was like 8 or 9 years ago. He now has zero relationship with her, and his sister stayed across the country, didn't invite them to his wedding, and refuses to let her have any relationship with his kid. That's the road your wife is headed down if she doesn't pull her head out of her butt over this. NTA. WTF is wrong with her? Info. Does you wife like her son? What kind of mom excludes their child from a family vacation for no reason? Edit. The more I think about, I'm appalled a mom could be so callous and cold to her gown son. Your son's mom is supposed to be his advocate and protector, not the person who hurts him emotionally. NTA. Edited. Thanks to you, Brayaleria, for pointing out my error. NTA. This just seems cruel to your son. He bought his sister souvenirs, and as you said, life isn't always fair. NTA. Two totally different scenarios. NTA. If she feels it necessary to punish someone, she can stay behind. NTA. And your wife's "even the score" comment is concerning. Stand your ground on this one. NTA. You wife is horrible though. She wants to basically punish your son for having friends and spending time with them. NTA. Is your wife a child? What is this? It sounds like she is trying to take revenge on your son on behalf of her daughter. This is just normal upbringing with siblings. They need to learn that they can't get the same all the time. Your wife is being really petty now. NTA. Stick to this. Your son can't defend himself. He should not have to suffer a punishment because he was able to enjoy himself on trip for his friend. This won't teach your daughter anything. It will only make your son resentful. Your wife is already making herself seem exceptionally petty. Let's all say it together. Life is not fair. If you teach kids the world owes them something every time someone else gets something they'd like, then life is going to be full of disappointment.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.